anything that's in or not everything, but most things that are top 20 we're constructive on. We're very constructive on Bitcoin, but there's a few that we believe that will outperform Bitcoin this year, such as XRP, SWI, and even Sol. More constructive on some of the larger cap cryptocurrencies like SUI and Solana and XRP, even Litecoin and HBAR. I think are going to be have a really good possibilities of making it.
So, are you comfortable saying pretty much all of those will have 10% upside?
Oh, I think most of these will double this year.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to 120, this is what I'm saying. So it's good to hear. So you think these could double in
that's
what,
right.
12
That's right.
months or so?
Yeah. Think of Bitcoin like the Dow. It's a little bit boring, but it's going to be a lot safer.
Right.
And it's what you move into if you want to stay in crypto, but have a flight to safety. But some of these other ones are going to have a lot more upside in bull runs.
Good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome back to your favorite crypto news related channel, Good Evening Crypto. And what we're breaking down today, Johnny, we're talking about the Ripple lawsuit. We're going to show how Wall Street is stepping into the crypto industry. But most importantly, guys, I wanted to provide a little bit of optimism because I felt like going through my social media feed today, people were not accepting of the Ripple news. We're going to put a positive spin on this because I put it in my video during today's episode as well. This could create a supply shock for exchanges, but on a more positive note, if we get a market structure bill, nobody is going to look at the Judge Torres ruling for guidance. So it's a very short-term issue, Johnny. I love what this guy had to say for a couple of reasons. First of all, he talked about being optimistic on altcoins. I love how people use these new phrases now, like a flight to safety, and we're all just supposed to accept that like that's some definition about what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Here's the reality. Bitcoin, less risk, less reward. Altcoins, higher risk, higher reward. And I think the XRP community and the HBAR community in particular have been feeling that reward since the election of Donald Trump. And we're going to break down, guys, there's massive demand. These price charts are turning in the right direction, and I could not be more optimistic. But we already have 900 people here hanging out, 10:15 on a Thursday night, at least East Coast, Johnny. If you guys enjoyed this stream, be sure, show us some love, smash that like button, and we'll stick around. I just want to give a special shout out. We did get a live donation right before the stream. Xavier ID commented, "Let's go." Shout out to you, my friend. We appreciate you guys. And we appreciate every single person who tunes in during today's episode. Now, another reminder, and I'm going to kick it back to you, Johnny. We are raffling off the hat tonight. So we got the Merlin hat signed by Coach JV, Johnny Krypto, and myself that we're going to be raffling off live on air tonight. And the way you can get your name submitted, head on over to Johnny Krypto's Twitter account, which I'll put on screen as you respond, Johnny. And you can submit your name. Now, if you'd like your name to be submitted more than once, you can donate. We're going to add you as a second place. So everybody's going to have one introduction. If you donate like Xavier did, we're going to throw people in a second time just to be kind and do what we can for the community, guys. But shout out to all of you. Very excited. Johnny, how you feeling tonight? And obviously, thank you for being here. Let's just start off with the Ripple versus SEC and whatever else comes to mind.
Yeah, first off, how about this? Good evening to all the crypto maniacs tonight. Sun was out yesterday. The moon is out tonight. Oh, to all the warrior maniacs and crypto maniacs out there. It is going to be a fun show tonight, Abs. We've got some great stuff going on. We've got the hat giveaway tonight. We got donations. If you want to get by the way, guys, because we're going to pick you by your name, we're going to need your name. Okay, well, that's good. Matt gave us his full name. We need your real name so we can put it into the raffle spin. So if you do that and you have like a nickname and ID, you're going to have to put your real name in there.
I do want to give a massive shout out because we have a standard here, guys. If you donate, we're going to give you a thank you here. Matt, big thank you for the $19.99. Guarantee you are going to be submitted twice to win the Merlin hat tonight. And I'm excited to give it away, Johnny, because we talked about this. We got Merlin t-shirts signed. We got Merlin hats signed. I've got the David Schwartz hat, which I've been telling people I'm just staring at it in my office for a couple more months. We're going to raffle that off at some point here on Good Evening Crypto as well. So couldn't be more optimistic. Now, Gabriel commented, "Where's the link to sign up?" That's my job, guys. I'm going to pull that up in the background, Johnny. So just cover me for about 15 seconds. I'm going to show your Twitter. Floor is yours.
Yeah, go ahead, Abs. While you're doing that, I've actually posted it in the chat. And so I'm just going to make sure I post it again right now. Guys, it'll be right here in the chat. There it is. So you should be able to see it. But, so it's interesting, Abs. It was funny when you played that opening video and you heard the girl ask him the question. He says to him, "Oh, So you think it'll go up 10%? And he's like 10%. No, how about like double? It's so funny because the reason why I laugh at that is if you think about the mentality of humans, and wow, big shout out to Shane. If you think of the mentality in humans in the stock market, Abs, you and I talk about this all the time on the air. If you're into regular crypto, well, holy cow, people really want that hat. If you're in the stock market, dude, if you get a 10% gain, I think you were even telling me that, Johnny, you get 10% gain, you're happier than a pig in shit, right? But yeah, here we are today. We're getting 10%. Like, nobody wants 10% in the crypto. Dude, I get 10% up and down. Even think about it. Like, I'd be pissed. Nobody cares about 10%. 10% is she didn't do her homework, obviously. And the reality is it's even more than 2x. I mean, we're talking about, if I sign up, no, you're not. Wait, bring that question. That's a great question. If you signed up for the XRP Vegas tickets raffle, you are not registered for this. That was the XRP raffle. This is a whole new raffle. It's the hat. It's the Merlin hat, personally signed, unique. There's only 2 in the world of these ever. Here they are right here. And so you need to sign up by clicking the link that I just put inside the chat, or you can just go to Johnny Crypto 00 Twitter page, and it's at the top there. Go ahead and sign up for that. There it is right there.
And I've got it on screen, guys, but I do just want to read out the donations. First of all, I want to give a massive thank you to Shane XRP. He said, thanks, GMC and GEC family, for all the hard work you put in. And here's the best part. Shane, big shout out to Matthew, big shout out to Matt Callahan as well. All you guys, Rob B and Jay, we're going to read all your comments. The best part about this whole thing is we hold the same XRP as you. And I've been sharing this a lot in these private conversations I've been having, Johnny, where people are like, do you really believe in this? Is this actually what you think? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I say exactly what I think every day on air in front of a camera, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to point to these videos to prove that we've been here since day one. And I remember back in 2022, Johnny, we first started doing not this show, but Good Morning Crypto. And what I had said was, because we're XRP centric, and you were asking me, you're like, do you want to cover some other topics? And I go, I don't think any of these other projects are at the level of XRP. Point blank, drop the microphone, end the conversation. But big shout out to Shane. Big shout out to Matthew. Matthew says Chama. I think that's a shout out to Alex Pereira. So big Alex Pereira fan in the crowd. We got Rob B. We're going to have Rob. We're going to submit your name again. But here's something dangerous, guys. A $5.89 donation from Jay here. And Jacob, sorry, he put his name in the donation as well. Big thank you to you, my friend. We always see you in the live chat, and we appreciate the people who show up here every single day. Angus Scrim. Now, you may have the scariest profile picture, but I will say a $9.85 donation, that could one up what Jacob just did right there. So cheers, he said. Shout out to you. You will be submitted twice tonight to win the Merlin hat. Chris Palmer commented, massive thank you to Chris Palmer. Shout out to you, my friend. He said, I watch you guys every morning and evening. I've learned a lot from you all. I just got into crypto in December of 2024 and feel very good about it, as you should, my friend. Thank you guys for taking the time to help guys like me. Well, listen, we were guys like you, right? I remember back in 2019, I was all over, whether it was Bearable Bull, Coach JV, Mason. If you guys know Crypto Mason, I used to watch him all the time. Alex Cobb. Shout out to, I'm trying to think of the other one I used to watch. Kevin Cage, Crypto Erie, Digital Asset Investor. The list goes on and on. So, Chris, I started off just like you, diving into some of my favorite crypto content creators every single night. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to John Nassif out there. Now, John, if you would like your name to be submitted twice, all you got to do is donate just $2, my friend. But we love and appreciate every single one of you, and I couldn't be more excited to be giving back to the community, Johnny. But while we kind of kill some time, let people submit their raffles, we're going to go through some exciting news topics for today. And of course, we've got what Johnny called a 70-page thread from Fred Rispoli that was published earlier tonight. We're going to be taking you guys through this. Now, this is one of the longest Twitter posts I've ever seen. I'm going to say that pretty definitively, but it got 300,000 views in 6 hours for a reason. Fred Rispoli is spot on when it comes to his analysis here, letting us know what he thinks could not only play out over the next few months, Johnny, but why this case is still ongoing right now. So I'm excited to kind of take people through that. I don't think we've gotten your reaction yet. Someone said, don't forget XRP Chiz. I'm not sure who that is, but shout out to that person as well, guys. Now, Johnny Crypto, they commented, second person commented this some inside joke I don't know about. Now, Johnny, I do want to get your analysis here. We're looking at the SEC versus Ripple case. I'll give you 30 seconds worth of thought, kick it back to you. I did think she was going to accept this, right? I thought she was going to decide to agree with this indicative ruling, reduce the fine, and allow these two parties to move forward. The situation we're in right now, the SEC and Ripple can both revoke their individual appeals, and allowing Ripple to pay the $125 million and deal with the injunction. That would just be the rule of the road for the short term. Over the long term, once a market structure bill is passed, I believe this case will not be even a factor here going forward. So if they decided that they were going to they were going to actually pay the $125 million fine and go with the indicative ruling for the short term, it would only prevent them from selling XRP in the US until we had a market structure bill. And that's kind of the point that I wanted to make clear. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of John Deaton. But what was your initial reaction and what are some of your thoughts?
So for me, I actually didn't think she was going to approve it. She fought it the first time. She denied it. I'm not surprised she denied it the second time. It tells me something bigger is going on. It tells me that I've been telling you for a while, there's big powers behind the scenes. Listen, at the end of the day, you just got to understand how the world works. There are people in power that make money, and there are people that don't want to lose making that money, and they're going to fight for that. It's like anything else, right? A boxer fights for his championship title. A company or companies fight for their income, and they don't want to give it up, right? It's no different. Some just have the ability to pull more strings than others, and somebody's pulling Judge Torres' strings. I hate to say it, but as far as I'm concerned, there is somebody there that is kind of maybe there's some extra influence. I'll leave it at that. I have no inside information. This is my own personal opinion. It's great about America. You can have your own opinion, and I just think that the big boys aren't ready to clear the roads yet for XRP. And the reality is this, Abs, and you kind of said it, is whether the big boys are ready or not, at some point, if Congress acts, it will finally clear the road. And all of this whole thing, 4.5 years, 5 years, however this thing is, it's all almost for naught. I want to, because like you said, we asked John Dean, we also asked Fred, I call him now Fred Novel Rispoli. He's a new novelist now. So Freddie, if you're out there, let me know when you're writing your next book. But, anyway, we asked them and they said, yeah, when Congress creates the law, that could omit or revoke or overwrite or revoke, reverse, if you will, the judge's ruling on what is law. Because the only reason why judges vote or rule on something is because there is no clarity. Well, once Congress provides the clarity, Abs, then the judge's ruling and the court's rulings go away, because the way our country is founded, Congress was meant to write laws, not judges. Okay? So let's hope we get to that point. And then literally this case won't even matter anymore. Frankly, to be honest with you, I don't even think it does matter anymore. I've said, since we've got the Trump winning the election, we saw XRP do what it was going to do. It went to where it went because people believed the case was going to get tossed. We've seen as high as 330 or 340, somewhere in that range. We're seeing as low as $2. That's your zone. That's your window where it is. And so you can donate, I think, by just clicking the button right below the window, right, Abs?
That was for GMC.
Oh, God, my bad. Sorry, I should just keep talking. All right. So anyway, so that's my point. Is I was not surprised. Don't think so. Here's what I think should happen. This is a very simple one now. Now, if you're Stuart Alderati in Brad Garlinghouse, you got to look at yourself and say, look, this judge ain't caving in. She ain't going away. She ain't a friend of Ripple. She ain't a friend of the SEC. The ball's back in their court. Here's the best thing you should do. And Stuart's a smart guy. He'll know. Pull the plug. Pull the plug on the appeal. Talk to the SEC. Here's how they could work together, right? The reality is, they can't come to an agreement. The judge won't approve it. Okay, so then here's what you do. Work with the SEC. You pull your appeal. We'll pull our appeal. We both pull away the appeals. The case is over. The things have already been decided. We know what the rulings are. If you do a fund transaction with an institution, it's considered a security, and they're going to pay a $125 million fine. Pay that fine. They already set the money aside. If you do a transaction, the retailer, we know it's through a retail exchange. It is not a security. They got the ruling they want. Pay the freaking fine. Go away. Shout out to you, Nova Krypto. And that's it, Abs. This thing ends. It ends now with a $125 million fine. I get it. Ripple wanted to save $75 million. It would have been nice to see that money stay with them, and I think they would have allocated it in either maybe buying another company. Maybe they would have created new jobs. It would have been great to see it go to the community. instead of some politician's pockets or some beer, 3-letter agency pockets, or who knows where it's going to end up. But that's where it's going to end up now. So pay the fine. Stuart, if you're listening, and I know you're not, but if you are listening to me, pay the freaking fine. Tell Brad, end this bad boy. It's in your court. You're absolutely right. It's time to just shoot an easy freaking layup. Don't hit a three-pointer, Abs. There's no one needs to shoot for a three-pointer here. Just go to the hoop, dribble, hit the layup, end the freaking case, and we can finally move on and put this thing behind us so that when the real money starts to flood in, I don't really think this case is holding us back that much anymore. But for the few that it is, and I'm sure it is a little bit, that you just could eliminate that completely. So that's what I hope they do.
Here's what I agree with too, Johnny. First of all, there's still a bunch of different narratives here, and I'll outline a couple of them, right? Could this create a situation where now the U.S. government custodies XRP? Because if Ripple can get any XRP donated here to the SEC through this, it would be a massive benefit for the narratives that we've been talking about. Second major detail that I want people to be aware of here is that it's not going to impact the long-term vision for Ripple. So all of this is short-term news. And believe it or not, today in the live chat, people were commenting saying they know individuals who are selling XRP because the case didn't end today. That is the exact opposite of how people should be framing what's happening right now. What people should be understanding instead, we are on the precipice of the United States regulating the digital asset class for the first time in human history. And right now, we are before that moment. So anybody who is involved in this asset class is early by definition, because it's like being involved in the stock market before they had rules for the stock market. That is how early we are in the crypto space. But guys, I want to hit you with a couple of the donations because we are appreciative and we want to say thank you. Pancho Hernandez, another person I see every single day. Shout out to you. He said, Abs and Johnny, I made an XRP rap song when XRP hits $10. You all need to sing it. Now, here's the deal. You send me that, you have my word. We'll make it happen. Now, shout out to Jeff here as well. Jeff Goldbeck. He didn't say anything. His name.
Jeff Goldbeck pulled a Arthur Brito. He's speechless.
No, yeah. Arthur Brito put the emoji, but I get the point there. It's like a solid 4, maybe 5 out of 10 kind of joke, guys. But shout out to Jeff Goldbeck. $20. $20. You're going to have your name in there twice, and we appreciate you, my friend. Big shout out to you. Shout out to Nova Crypto as well. Fellow daily listener. They said, thanks for doing what you do, fellas. Big thank you to you as well, Nova Crypto. We care about the people who care about this show. That's the reason we do this thing live. And a quick reminder, if you have not signed up yet, head on over to Johnny Crypto's account. You can get in there completely free, submit your name. The people who are donating, they're going to get their names in twice. That's what I said prior. Nobody will be able to submit their name more than 2 times because we want to make it as fair as possible. But if people give a donation, we think the right thing to do is give back to those people the same way they're giving back to us. So Johnny, in regards to what I was saying prior in thinking about the XRP lawsuit, XRP is still not a security. It's bound to be the largest altcoin in this market at some point. But most importantly, it's based out of the United States. And I read a tweet from Dom last week. I think we may have even read it together on air, where he said he was in Hong Kong. And what were they discussing? That the U.S. crypto narrative is here to stay. U.S. cryptocurrencies are going to have an advantage as this market grows here. And I think that's something else people are undervaluing when it comes to the adoption of XRP, guys. But I'd love to hear, ones, if you were surprised by the news, 2s, if you anticipated Judge Torres denying this ruling. But the reality is it does not impact the XRP community in the long term. This is not 2022. This is not 2023. It's not even 2024. Donald Trump has made it very, very clear. The United States has the ambition to become the crypto capital of the world, and that's why we're focused on this narrative. Now, this person said, you guys always say to take profit, but if I have less than 100 XRP, would you recommend still taking profit or accumulate and wait until the next bull run? Now, everybody's going to have different goals, and I think our listeners will find this valuable. That's why I'm going to kind of dive into this as well. If you only have 100 XRP, I think it's fair that you just accumulate, right? And that may be controversial, Johnny, and I think you may actually disagree with that. You're going to say kind of use these markets to your advantage, possibly, right? I'm not going to speak for you. But the reason that I think having 100 XRP is not going to be sufficient is because if you're in this market and you believe in this asset class going forward, 100 XRP, just doing simple math, that means even if XRP got to $1,000, that means you got $100,000. And we're not going to get to $1,000 anytime soon. So my take here is take the time, dollar cost average, play the long game, and keep buying this asset. Don't try to play the highs and the lows. You're just going to get kind of caught up in the mix there and played by the volatility. Johnny, what are some of your thoughts in regards to this?
Well, Abs, I'm actually
We call
agreeing with
him multitasking Johnny, by the way. It's
yeah,
no
listen,
secret.
I'm trying to get the links out. By the way, guys, I just realized. So I did confirm the link is actually below. The link to my Twitter is below this video, so you can go there. You can click it right now, and that'll bring you to my Twitter page. Because people are asking, Abs, where's the link to the hat raffle? So I just wanted to make sure I let that out. So you caught me in the middle of doing that, but you know, the thing is this: I agree with you 100%. If you have 100 XRP, I would not tell you to sell. Absolutely not. I don't think it's worth it to sell. Not at $3 or $4. I mean, we get to, you know, $100. You know, maybe you consider selling some of it. But to me, if you've got 100, you should be more. Again, we're not financial advisors, guys. It's not financial advice. What a beautiful hat. But I would say you probably want to be accumulating if you've got 100. I would be trying to, whether it's $5 a week or $10 a week or, you know, $12, $25 a week, whatever you can afford to DCA. And that's what I do. I just have, you know, Coinbase and DCA or Kraken, and you can automatically buy every week. It'll just go in and it'll do a purchase for you. Is you can set up whatever you can afford. And to me, that's what I would be doing if I had 100 XRP right now. I would be looking to buy, not to sell.
Now, somebody said, what if I have 10,000? 10,000 XRP is a different story.
That's
You got
a whole nother story. Now
Right.
we're cooking with a little olive oil here. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that people got to create a plan that works best for them. So these numbers are arbitrary, right? It depends what your goals are. If your goal is to buy a home, if your goal is to borrow against your XRP, you're going to need a significant bag. If you're just getting into this asset class, slowly building your portfolio, the smart thing to do is not pay so much attention to the day-to-day price action, but instead pay attention to how much XRP, how much Bitcoin, how many HBAR you actually own. And I don't mean dollar value. I mean units of the individual currencies, guys. But we did just pass 4,000 live listeners. I wanted to provide some data regarding how small the XRP community is. And I've talked about this before, but I did just see, I don't want to miss any of the donations. Big shout out to Christian, somebody I see in our chat all the time. So shout out to you, my friend. He said, I definitely appreciate all of the research you share with us day in and day out, bro. Well, I appreciate the fact that people show up every single day, just like our live chat is tonight, guys. So big thank you to Christian. Big shout out to everyone who's here. The XRP rich list is small, Johnny, and I shared some of this data. Only 7.1 million people around the world. Sorry, that's actually incorrect. Only 7.1 million wallets around the world hold XRP. And the rational case that I made, both in the Good Evening Crypto update I provided yesterday and on the Good Morning Crypto show, was that number is probably much smaller. Because if you're buying XRP on an exchange and transferring it to a cold wallet, you now have two wallets. So at a minimum, we're looking at a 7.1 million wallet community. That's probably less than 3.5 million people. But even if you want to become a top 1% XRP holder, and I'm going to show you the images here from the rich list, what do we see? There's a small number that's necessary. It really doesn't take as much as people think. If you are able to accumulate 2,500 XRP, you are now in the top 10% of wallets worldwide, guys. So I'd love to hear. I do want to ask this. If you have this number, I was going to say throw a one in chat, but you know what? We're not going to do that. I don't want people to expose their XRP bags. More importantly, and I know there's people out there who have 100,000 XRP, and they're definitely in our live chat. That means you're in the top 0.5% of all XRP holders in existence today. There are less than 52,000 wallets on planet Earth that have more than 100,000 XRP. Let me say that again. Less than 52,000 wallets on planet Earth that have more than 100,000 XRP. So if you're even remotely close to that, you're going to have a huge opportunity here. And the math is working in our favor because as the price of XRP continues to rise, Johnny Kova with a K, as that continues to rise, it's going to become more and more difficult for people to enter this market and accumulate a bag worth 100,000 XRP or even 2,500 XRP. Just like the data I shared on GMC today, 175 million Americans do not have $500 for an emergency fund. So that was pretty surprising to me. When I read that data, and that's from CNBC, guys, I was shocked by that. I mean, that tells me Americans, they're living on the edge to say the least, and it's going to be very difficult for everyday people in the future, once this is a $10, $15, $100 asset, to accumulate bags that are $2,500. I mean, if we even get to a $10 XRP, Johnny, that's a $25,000 investment. And I just told you, more than half of Americans don't have $500. So any comments on that?
Well, I mean, Abs, it's sad, right? America, unfortunately, Americans have lost their way, and now they live paycheck to paycheck. And absolutely, Lynn, if you win or whoever wins, if they want an 833, I'll be happy to sign a little. I'll put an 833 on there. That's hilarious that she remembered that. Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to sign it with 833. It's sad that Americans have lost their way. When I was growing up as a kid in America in the 70s and 80s and 90s, like, you saved. It was all about saving. It was, and we, and they always said, like, you got to save for 6 months. You want to have 6 months worth of savings. People live paycheck to paycheck. You just said it. People have $500 in the bank. $500. That's not even getting through a week. You can't. What are you gonna do with $500? Can't buy groceries and gas, and you're out of money. So it's really sad where we've gone as a nation, where people have lost their way in terms of saving their money. People live paycheck to paycheck, and they're spending every dollar they make. And it tells me that parents just haven't done a good job. I've tried to instill in my kids, you got to save 50% of your paycheck. 50%. And it's a lot, it's hard. It's a big target, but you got to try to save that money and put it aside, if you want to be able to kind of invest in the future. And when I look at this chart here, for example, here, if you've got money saved now, you can move yourself up. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it does now because it's expensive at $2. But when it was at 50 cents or 25 cents, you could have gotten to, a lot of people were probably 10%ers or 5%ers. And I know a lot of people that are 1%ers, So the reality is, if you had, if people go back to their ways of understanding, you need to save some of your money. It's a very great book out there. I encourage you all to read it. Coach talks about it all the time. Smartest Man in Babylon. And basically, I'll give away the secret. It's about saving 10% of everything you make and then putting that 10% to work for you, whether it's investing in a business or something that generates passive income or some kind of income apps. That's the secret, right? Investing that. Another great book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Absolutely, right? So learn about how to use leverage and forget about the whole go to school, get a job, pay your bills, pay your taxes, and then die. So you want to kind of get away from all that. So to me, I think what's great about this community, our folks here, is they've invested. And I saw somebody asked here not that long ago. Let me just see if I can find the comment. I did flag it. Oh, yeah, here. So people are asking questions. Everybody wants to know what's enough. Oh, pull that back up. So this guy said, do you think 27K will be enough to borrow against? Listen, at the end of the day, I actually do. I think 27,000 is a good number, and you could definitely borrow against that as it moves up over time. I think the key is, the real question is, are you patient enough to hold on to let this happen? Because as I described earlier, or maybe later today, or maybe it was earlier in the week, Ripple did something very smart, genius move. And it hasn't paid dividends yet, but it's going to. They bought a little tiny company called Hidden Roads for $2 billion. So they're not tiny. I was exaggerating. And what they're going to do with this company, guys, is they are going to build a demo. The best way, I've been in technology for the longest time. I worked for, one of the top biggest company in the world, P&G, right? Procter & Gamble, years ago. And it was all about the best way they sold their products and the way you'll see them advertised on TV. It's all about doing demos. When people see something like, oh, yeah, watch a P&G ad, you always see they'll have a comparison. They'll show you something. Well, what do you think Ripple just did? When they bought Hidden Road, they were setting up to do the biggest demo ever, because that demo is now going to allow them to be able to demonstrate, build a real working model of their XRP ledger and technology, facilitating transactions and trades in real time, instantly, 3, 5, 8 seconds, whatever it turns out to be after they work out through everything, is going to be amazing. And the rest of the world is going to see that, and they're all going to want to jump in and buy it. And Abs, we have a lot more donations. I'm going to shut up so you can start giving some. You can read
well, listen, Ray came in with a hot comment here. He said, shout out to Johnny Krypto, looking good, bro. And I got to give a big shout out to Johnny Krypto as well. I know you shared this earlier this morning. Down 20 pounds, guys. And it's very simple. I know we talked about it. Moving around, drinking water, doing the simple things. People make fitness so complicated, Johnny. And the reality is, it is pretty simple once you're honest with yourself. You don't have to get too specific with it. Now, I love this comment. Johnny Krypto, if I win the hat tonight, can you sign the 833 by your name? Now, I know you already saw that, and he acknowledged he would be doing that for you guys. So pretty cool. Now, I want to read off this one because I think this is kind of a great topic that people are interested in, right? What do you guys think the XRP price will be by 2030? Live chat, I'm going to ask you the same question. I'll throw the comments up on screen while we break this down. Now, Johnny, what did I pull up in the background? Here's what keeps me so optimistic, thinking that we could be looking at a triple-digit XRP by 2030. It's this headline that was shared by Brad Garlinghouse. XRP could capture 14% of Swift's global volume. Ripple CEO says by the year 2030. And you know what? 2030 used to sound so far away. Remember, Agenda 2030, you're going to own nothing and be happy. We're more than halfway there. We are 55% of the way there, 4.5 years away from looking at the year 2030 on our calendars. And I think it's creeping up very quickly. Now, why is that important to this narrative? If Ripple captures 14% of Swift's global volume, that is $700 billion every single day transacting on the ledger. That doesn't include Hidden Road. That doesn't include ETFs. That doesn't include stablecoins. And it doesn't include tokenization or the derivatives market, which is also going to be coming to the XRP ledger. So here's my prediction, guys. If Brad Garlinghouse, and there's a big if here, if Brad Garlinghouse is correct about the XRP ledger capturing 14% of Swift's volume by the year 2030, we are going to be looking at an asset that could be transacting just under $1 trillion every single day on the ledger. Well, here's something I know for sure. A $2, a $5, a $10, a $12, a $25 XRP, none of those price targets would be high enough to handle that amount of liquidity. So the conversation really becomes, how high of a number do we need to reach or to handle this amount of liquidity, to handle nearly $1 trillion? And that's where I lean into Jake Claver. And what does Jake say? Probably $2,500. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that, but even if he's completely wrong, and I love what Raul Paul says, even if I'm wrong by 80%, let's say I'm a complete moron, well, we're still looking at a $500 XRP in the next 5 years. And I think although a lot of that to some people may sound like hopium, may sound like an overdose of optimism, right? If things like this come to fruition, we're not only correct, Johnny Krypto, we're rich, my friend. Floor is yours.
I mean, rich is probably an understatement, to be honest with you. I'm with Shadow Wolf here. I think XRP to 833. I love that number. No, I'm just kidding. I know where the 833 comes from. Abs, the reality is, if something like this happens and they gain any piece of the Swift volume, it's game over. It's only going to grow and grow and grow and become just a massive number. And it is going to be huge. You can speculate, in the 3-digit figures, probably for sure. We'd definitely be island type rich. People will be buying islands and stuff like that. But the question is, will you be patient enough? Not you personally, but you in general. Will you be patient and hold enough to through up to that number? Listen, guys, it isn't going from $2. Let's say, Abs, let's have this conversation. Let's say it's going to go to $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, right? It ain't going from $200 to $800. It's going to go to 2, and it's going to 4, and it's going to 6, and it's going back down to 3, and it's going up to 10, and it's going on, and it's going to zigzag and circuit. It's going to take a while to get there, just like Amazon did. I bought Amazon at $17, Abs. It went to $3,300 20 years later. But I didn't even hold it for 6 months, let alone long enough to hold it, to get to that stage. So my question to everybody out there is, do you have the patience? Do you have the discipline? And do you have an exit plan ready to already set up? That path should already be written on paper for you. Or if you have the Merlin app, it should be in your app. How you're going to sell, when you're going to sell, and the price limits. And you know what? If you think it's going to $800, you better have an exit plan all the way up to $800. Or you're gonna F it up, just like what's his name says, Raul Paul. The part he misses, if you don't have a plan, you're gonna F it up. He says, don't F it up, but you will if you don't have a plan. So somebody said here, Johnny, what would you, Abs, what advice would we give to where it is? Here it is, to new beginners like you? I would tell you 2 things. 1, do some research, start playing with a little crypto, send a little bit here or there, go get a small account, Coinbase, Crack, and pick up maybe the top 4 or 5 coins, right, on CoinMarketCap. That'd be number 1. Number 2, make a plan. Have an exit plan, and then get some DCA into those. And then find 1, 2, 3 of your favorite influencers out there that talk about crypto. Start with Good Morning and Good Evening Crypto Show, and then go from there and follow and do your research. Start digging in and start learning about the technology, because I think, even if you're a beginner, if you're here and you're just listening to people right away to get rich quick scheme, you're gonna F it up. Don't do that.
Unless you have a plan. And that's what I think is important. And you know what? I'm going to change the exit plan to just a plan, right? Because exit plan makes it confusing. It sounds like we're telling people, if you think this asset's going to $500, if you think it's going to $800, well, then you're not going to be selling anytime soon. And that's the exact advice that we shared with that listener earlier in the episode, where if you only have 100 XRP, you only have 500, maybe you have 1,000, the game should be accumulation. It shouldn't be maximizing the trading in this market. But I wanted to show you the XRP price chart, guys. But I'm just going to read one quick comment here. We got a big comment here from Christian. Big thank you to you, my friend. He stated, Jay Claver said that the more expensive XRP is, the more efficient. What do you think about that? I agree. And it's simple, Johnny. More liquid, more accessible, easier to tap into, and you can transfer more money using less XRP the higher that the price is. And when you think about systems like Swift, those are running billions of transactions a day. I mean, we are talking about a capital markets that not only never sleeps, it is bigger than you can even wrap your head around. The amount of liquidity it would take to handle the NASDAQ, to handle the bond market, to handle Swift payments, all of that's going to be on the XRPL. So I completely agree. And that's why I've been sharing Jake's clips, guys. I agree with Jake. I'm excited to interview him. I'm going to be interviewing him, I believe, on July 16th, only 3 weeks from today, guys. So if you're looking forward to that, let me know. We do have 5,600 people here. If you're enjoying this content, it greatly helps us out. Show us some love. Smash that like button. If you're showing up for the hat, we are going to be giving away this Merlin hat tonight, guys. And anybody who donates any amount of money will get 2 submissions for their name. We already got a bunch of donations. I just want to give a huge thank you to anybody who watches this show, comments, and of course, if you donate, we appreciate you, and we're going to give back by submitting your name twice. All you have to do, head on over to Johnny Krypto's Twitter account. You can either click the link below the video or type in Johnny Krypto with a K followed by 2 zeros, and you will see this. You can submit your name, and you'll have a chance to win the Merlin hat. But Johnny, I'd love to hear your take. I'm sure Christian wants to hear your take as well. Jake said the more expensive the XRP, the more efficient. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, first of all, Jake will be coming on the 18th on Friday. Let me just clarify that on calendar. He'll be coming on the 18th, Friday, and we got Matt Bitwise coming on Wednesday, July 2nd. I mean, Matt from Bitwise, Matt Hogan. See, I keep calling him Matt. He'll be coming on Good Morning Crypto. So make sure you guys book your calendars for that, so you can catch that show. Yeah, and there's no doubt about it that obviously the more ubiquitous XR becomes, yes, I mean it's a no-brainer. The more efficient it's going to be, the better adoption rates are going to be. I mean, everything. And to me, that's why I started the show out by telling you, Abs, that the single most important move that I think Ripple made that was genius was buying Hidden Roads, because now they're going to be able to build the technology to show everybody how it works. I mean, when everyone was talking about electric vehicle car, well, people wanted to drive one. What did Tesla do? They built a few, and they started letting demo them. I remember my business brought a Tesla in. They're like, here, guys, go drive it around, and let's drive it around the property, right? People want to feel it, touch it, see it. Well, that's exactly what Ripple's doing for the business community. They're going to build this thing, and they're going to show you how it works. And oh, by the way, here's the best part. It ain't just like a fake demo that you're going to throw it away after you get people to look at it. It's a real business. Hidden Roads does. I forgot how many billions or trillions of dollars a year. There you go. Is it billion or trillion? Trillion. Yeah. $3 trillion annually in movement of money. And that's going to all be happening on the, yes, thank you, Tom. Charles, look at you, baby. Not only is he shouting out, he makes a nice donation. Charles, you're the man. I love that high school picture of you. What were you, about 18? What year was that, Charles? That reminds me of my those photos. I love Charles. He's the best. I think he's a Steeler fan, so I can get away with making a little fun of him. But I love
big shout out to Charles, not only for his consistency, but for his black and white high school photo. Now, I know this guy has a good sense of humor because we talk to him all the time. So shout out to Charles. He stated Jake Claver interview on July 18th. That's a must watch. Let us know if you have specific questions. Throw them in the chat. We can pull them up and ask Jake live on air, because I'm really excited. I like this comment somebody else posted where they said, I would love to see Jake Claver and Mark Yusko have a conversation on Good Morning Crypto. That would be pretty awesome. Now, somebody said, where is the link? We covered that several times. You can just click on the link below this. It's Johnny Krypto's Twitter account, or you can head on over through manually on the X application. But I think we covered that enough, guys. I don't want to
Right
hammer
here,
that home.
guys. See it at Johnny Crypto. Right in my title there, at Johnny Crypto 00. Just go there, right to Twitter, and there it is. And you can sign up for the hat. Don't miss it, because I know wow. It's already 11 o'clock, Abs. We blew through an hour almost. It's amazing how much time flies when you're having fun with your best friend. I do want to give a shout out to Abs, because someone made the comment earlier about looking good and losing weight. And yes, and I got to credit a lot of that to Abs. So let me tell you something, guys, because health is wealth. So I think this is important. So I'm going to take a minute just to say, if you're thinking that, hey, you want to do something in your life, get yourself better. We love you too, Charles. And you want to improve your life and get healthy. You know what? Abs just said to me one day, Johnny, start with just waking up and do 10 push-ups a day at getting out of bed in the morning. And I'm like, all right, I can do that. And you know what, Abs? Anybody can do that. Just wake up tomorrow morning. I challenge you all in the chat. Wake up tomorrow morning, get out of bed. You're going to be tired. Trust me, I know. And drop to the ground and give me 10. All right, you give me 10. And believe me, Abs was so right. What a difference it made. And between that and just changing my diet and eating, once a day, mainly one main meal. And dude, the pounds are just coming off, and I feel great, look great, according to all you guys. But I love it, Abs. So I just want to give a shout out to you, Abs, for, changing lives and improving lives, man. That's awesome.
Shout out to Johnny Crypto, guys, because at the end of the day, you're the one who did those push-ups. And at the end of the day, we can talk about XRP. We can talk about all these projects and how we're optimistic. But I hope all of us make money together. And that's what I wanted to share. And I love this comment we got from Binance co-founder CZ today, Johnny. He said, if you sold the dip, you need to unfollow the weak minds and follow the right people. I completely agree. We never promote fear. We never tell you guys, jump into this project, jump into another project. No. We promote the technologies. We talk about the adoption. We talk about the partnerships and the leadership teams. And then we come to these logical conclusions that, there's 5 or 6 projects that kind of stand out from the rest. And those projects are Chainlink, AVAX, XRP, HBAR, Ondo, Bitcoin. I mean, just go through. We talk about them every single day almost. So XLM is another one, guys. But we do have 6,000 people here. If you're enjoying this content, show us some love. Smash that like button. And yes, we are going to give away that hat towards the end of the episode. I think in about 8 minutes, at the 50-minute mark, we're going to start raffling off that hat. So if you're excited about that, be sure, like we've been stating, get your name submitted, and we're going to start doing the raffle right after that. Now, Johnny, I do just want to kind of talk about this to engage the chat a little bit. Whether it's ETFs, tokenization, stable coins, market regulation, people who are newer to this market think that it's so normal to have those positive catalysts right in front of us. And I think it's guys like me and you and many of the people who are in our chat today that understand that this is a new phenomena where the United States government is not only pro-crypto, the regulators are working to bring this industry into Wall Street. And so for me, and I saw this one, big shout out to James Shaw, a little 4-leaf clover. Shout out to you. Now that's a lucky 4-leaf clover, and you were going to have 2 submissions for your name. So shout out to you, James. Oh, we appreciate you, my friend. Big thank you for the donation. Now, Johnny, my whole point that I was kind of getting at there is that as all of these positive catalysts come to fruition, you're going to hear our message change. We aren't going to be telling people this whole thing is just getting started after regulation, after ETFs, after tokenization. No, we're lucky enough to be here before that moment. And people will call you a conspiracy theorist, and then they'll call you a genius, right? And we've all been through this on a personal level. And I'm sure Johnny's been through this as a content creator where, when XRP was 50 cents for 4 years, you may not have looked like the smartest guy in the room. But you can be talking about the exact same narrative and the exact same asset. And if XRP is now $5, people want to hear what you have to say. As this community evolves, the Wall Street investors that we showed to start off today's episode are going to be pitching these products to their clients. And I've used this phrase, they're going to become our greatest adversaries after this market is regulated. So my prediction is this, guys. After ETFs, after regulation, we're going to be looking at a completely different crypto environment. Not only do I think we're going to see $1 trillion stablecoin, I think Ethereum is going to fall. I do not think Ethereum is going to be that top dog for the long term. And somebody asked me about 2030. I bet you if I had a crystal ball, Ethereum is not the number 2 ranked crypto asset by market cap by the year 2030. My guess would be XRP. But even if it's not XRP, there are other better technologies and other growing ecosystems that do the same thing Ethereum does, but cheaper, faster, and better. So whether it's Bitcoin as a store of value, it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar asset. XRP as a tokenization layer and as an on-demand liquidity platform, that's going to have its own asset class. You're also going to have these smart contract platforms. Cardano, AVAX,
Mhm.
maybe even Solana, guys, that dramatically reduce the amount that people are using Ethereum. The writing is on the wall. So for those very reasons, Johnny, I think that people are almost spoiled in the sense that we have so much going for us.
Yeah.
Just since the election of Trump, where it's been nothing but adversity for almost 3.5 years. Get ready for some dramatic change. And I'm talking about price targets. Johnny, floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, Abs, I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like we're going to get to relive 96, 97, 98. I know I sound like a broken record to you, but hopefully not to our chat, is that we had a major paradigm shift happen back then when we were bringing the internet to life. And what happened was we can learn from that, right? As you always say, Abs, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Listen,
And-
history doesn't Ravi, but it always rhymes, right?
That's right.
Ravi in the chat.
That's
That was pretty funny, guys.
Robbie, I like that. There you go. Attaboy, Robbie. Shout out to you, my man, for just finding us. And so the bottom line is, I say this all the time, we are going to see, to me, just the way the Telecom Act unlocked, it actually was a deregulation bill. It unlocked the ability to develop and compete with the telecoms. And that's where the internet, was allowed to boom. The same thing is going to happen when we get these regulation bills. And not so much the stablecoin. I think it's going to help. But the one that I think is going to be the linchpin to launch this son of a bitch off is going to be the infrastructure bill. Because that's the one that's going to kind of outline how, what's a digital asset, how it works, what isn't, what's security, what's not security. That's the one we need. When that one comes, my friend, you better look out, because it'll actually probably start to happen before, because the big boys will know ahead of time, and you'll start to see price action moving and wondering what's going on, because the big boys can start FOMOing in before everybody else does. And that's what I think is going to happen. So I really think that we are all, and that's what's great about this show. Everybody in this chat someday is all, can all get rich together, as you talk about. And we've already, by the way, Abs, let's not be too humble here. We already know some folks who have come to us and said they're already rich because of us and because of the show and because of Ripple or because of XRP, where they bought a chunk of money and they've changed their lives and they're millionaires now. And that is awesome. And I'm so happy to hear that that's happening. And that's just the beginning. And that's at a $2 XRP. Wait till we see, I'm in Mental X out here. Shout out to you, brother. Wait till we get a $10 XRP. Can you imagine the lives? Actually, I would love for, if you guys are cool with this, if you're in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if a $10 XRP makes you a millionaire, because that is just going to be a massive life-changing event. And put a 2 in the chat, it's going to make you a $500,000. I'm just curious of what we're going to see there in terms of the life-changing that's going to happen. And I think, there we go. We got one already. And by the way, this is awesome. Thank you for everything you do. You know what, guys? Thank you, guys. We do this because of you. We love the chat. You guys are great. We love that we get to hang out together and talk about crypto together. We love doing, Abs and I, we're best friends. We love hanging out. And when you get to work with your best friend and just talk about things you love, I mean, what's the old saying, Abs? If you do what you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And to me, this is what our dream is. And hopefully you guys have your dream of what you're going to do. And when that XRP hits that part, wow, look at all the people that are going to be millionaires in our chat, Abs, when we hit $10. That is freaking
So here's
awesome.
what's interesting. That means all those people are part of that top 50,000 XRP holders on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to put into perspective for you guys, because as Americans, I feel like maybe we think this asset class is much bigger than it really is. There's only 50,000 people who have over 100,000 XRP. And what's so great about a finite asset like XRP, Johnny, is there's never going to be more than there is today. It's going to become increasingly more difficult to accumulate meaningful bags of XRP. I actually remember Johnny Krypto promoting this narrative back in the day, calling Bitcoin the only finite asset on planet Earth. And it always used to frustrate me. We used to go back and forth about this because I used to say, actually, there's dozens, if not hundreds of other finite assets called cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin's not the only one. And obviously you came around to that idea. But the reality is that as the price of XRP continues to rise, regular everyday people are not going to be able to accumulate meaningful bags of XRP. Now, here's another important piece of data. To be in the top 6,500 XRP holders on the planet, you need 380,000 XRP. Now, I'm not going to ask people if they have that, but I bet you there's somebody out there in our live chat right now that's quiet, that's listening to this information, that's excited and successful, who has over 380,000 XRP. Now do this. If we get to $1,000, if we get to 2,500, like Jay Claver is predicting in the future, that person is going to be one of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. Drop the mic.
I hope that person is going to come and, invite us on their yacht. Okay. That's all. Just give us a nice invite to your yacht and fly us there on your chopper, because you're going to be able to afford to do both at that price. It's just going to be really
Here's what's interesting. Somebody asked, what is considered rich right now? Well, it used to be if you made over $440,000 in America, you were a top 1% earner. Since the COVID crisis, in order to be a top 1% earner, from what I've seen, you need to make about $600,000 now in order to be a top 1% earner inside the United States. Now, that's not because people are making more money than ever. It's because the rich are richer than ever. So hopefully we can get into that class ourselves here pretty soon here, guys. Now, if you make more than $600,000 a year, congratulations. Mentally commented, most XRP holders will exit before $10. And this is what Johnny's been saying. Johnny's talking about this for a long time. People sell these assets too early and they don't have a plan. So they're buying a ton, then they're selling a ton. They're selling at the wrong time. They're buying at the wrong time. Yep. Buy red days, sell green days, take advantage of the gains while they're in your portfolio. Because look at this, Johnny. And this is something that we can do as we head into this raffle, guys. Just want to remind you all, if you have not submitted your name, click Johnny Krypto's name. It's on the screen right next to where it says Merlin co-founder. Head on over to his Twitter, submit your name, totally free. You're going to have a chance to win the hat. Now, the reason that we understand how to play these markets so well, Johnny, it's not because we're geniuses. It's because we've been through so much adversity. And what you're looking at right now is 10 years of chart data for the XRP price chart. We're back in 2017. This was an asset that was less than a fraction of a penny, right? 0.004. That asset went from there to nearly $4 in value in only 240 days. We then went into a bear market from 2018 all the way until 2021, where this asset once again went from about 17 cents all the way to $1.90. We then went into another bear market where XRP went from $1.90 down to about, I think it was 30 cents, 28 cents in value at this time. We traded sideways and barely up in this monotonous environment for years, 2-3 calendar years, and we hit a massive moment of exponential growth. And what I believe is coming now, because we're trading in this range between the previous all-time high and our highest ever monthly closures, that's why $2 support is so important. I believe we're about to see the final breakout we've all been waiting for. And it's that moment that you're seeing right here, a very similar moment. I just got a text message. Let me see something. Might be a scammer. All right. So what I think we're on the precipice of
your XRP. What was he asking for?
I don't even know. It sent me a picture. I'm like, who's texting me at 11:07 on a Thursday?
I know. What the hell?
They're like, hey, you want to buy some beef jerky? I'm my friend now, guys. We are going to raffle this off. But the whole point of my speech is I think we're heading into this, Johnny. I think we're right on the precipice of XRP once again having this massive green candle, and the $2 price target may look as small as that price target at 10, 15 cents does today. Does that make sense? I think that we are currently in this range if we're drawing a correlation to 2017. And when we break out of this consolidation here, we are going to see a green candle printed very similar to this one. Now, it's hard for me to say if it'll be this big, right? But what do I always state? History doesn't repeat. It often rhymes. And if we get something even remotely similar to this exponential gain, 70,000% gain in only, think about this, 70,000% gains in 240 days. That means you bought this asset in June, you put, I don't know, let's say $10,000 into it. You now have $700,000 by December. So it's not like this is fairy tale land. That actually happened for the XRP community back in 2017. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I believe it can happen again.
And think about this. Since then, it's 10x twice. It 10x from 17 cents to $1.70 or $1.90, and then from 30 cents to 280 just recently. And there we are. I mean, that's 2 more 10x's. What more do you want? I mean, this thing has been unbelievable. And when you look at this chart, Abs, I mean, this says it all, right? This is why I say have an exit plan, because these opportunities, you could be selling at 10x higher and buying back, at a much lower price before, because they're not going to just go straight up. They're going to do this. It's going to be like a staircase. It's going to go up, it's going to pull back, it's going to go up, it's going to pull back. And if you play the game right, you can do, you can staircase your way into a huge bags by doubling and tripling back in every time, or doubling down or tripling down. So anyway, Abs, as you know, I need to roll by 11:30, so that means we are gonna have to. We're gonna have to pull the plug. This will be like this is like the 2-minute warning, guys. If you have not signed up for the hat, you got two. What time is it? 11:11. Holy cow! It's 11:11 right now. You got 2 minutes. 11:13. We're gonna close. I'm gonna close it, and then I got to go back into work and do some background. So Abs will be chatting with you as I start to pull everybody's names and figure out how to add in everybody who donated and get the wheel spun. So you got 2 more minutes, and we're gonna close out the deal, and then we will do what everybody is asking for, as Pancho says here, spin the wheel. And yes, that's what we're going to do.
Johnny Crypto, just to close it out while we're kind of doing that, I think it'd be valuable to play a video that we didn't get to discuss from earlier today. Now, I'm going to read a couple of tweets because I think, did you compile the names yet? Just let me know if you need me to.
No. As soon as I close it out, I'm going to close it out in literally 1 minute, and I'm going to start compiling the names.
And I just want to remind you guys, if you donated tonight, your name will be submitted twice. So I want to give a special shout out to Xavier, to Matt, to Shane, to Matthew, to Rob, every single person who donated, to Jay, to Angus, to Chris, to Pancho, to Matthew, to Jeff, to Nova Crypto, to Christian, and of course, Links, guys, and Ray. Wow, there's a lot more here, and Charles and James. So all of those people will have double submissions for the hat raffle tonight. But I wanted to kind of read off this fun tweet as we go and head into this thing, Johnny, because here's the reality. People like Paul Barron, who are just starting to enter the XRP community, they were not advocates for this technology just a couple of months ago. So the XRP community has grown so much in the last 6 months alone. And I do like that comment from Atlantic Living. We'll bring that up as well, Johnny Crypto. But this is the update Paul Barron gave. Kind of ties into what he said. ETF speculation and global adoption, growing speculation about an XRP ETF and new partnerships with banks in Asia and Latin America for cross-border payments are fueling further bullish sentiment. Based on the top 20 analysts, the new price target has been raised, according to Paul Barron. They are calling for XRP to reach $7 to $8 in the calendar year of 2025. Well, live chat, I'm throwing the comments on screen. Ones if you think we get to $8. Twos if you think it does not happen. This person said, thanks for all you do, Gamble. Shout out to you, Gamble, for always being here as well. So now, Johnny, here's what I think. I think people like Paul Barron see the writing on the wall. And whether it's the ETFs, whether it's the partnerships, everybody kind of agrees that XRP is ready for this next leg up. The real question is, how high does it go? Now, our live chat, I'm seeing a lot of ones, guys. People think we are getting to $8 in the calendar year of 2025. The real question is, would people be satisfied with that? What if we went up to $8 and then we went down for 6 or 8 months to scare people out, thinking we're going into a bear market? Then we get this exponential growth where we go 35, 55, 75. That is on the precipice here. And I did see Dave Dog Zoe also just commented. Shout out to you. Great username, my friend. He's got $5 donation here. Dave, throw your name in chat as well so that we can add you for your second spot on the raffle tonight. Now, KG commented $8. I'll take it. Listen, I'll take it as well. It was not long ago where people used to say XRP is a stable coin, and the response used to be, I wish it was a stable coin. Those are worth $1. So now we're a double stable coin over here. And of course, I'm just making jokes, Johnny. But what are your comments on what Paul Barron had to say, and if you agree?
Yeah, so first of all, I think Paul is, we interviewed him on the show at the XRP event. Paul's pretty sharp. He's definitely learned about this space. I was impressed with his knowledge in this area. And the reality is, I think that, the $7 to $8 range is a very, in my opinion, very, very realistic. And he's talking about with XRP ETFs. So I think that's very, very possible. For me, I'm looking to see, if we do get the XRP ETFs, I think they're going to be coming a little later on, Abs. I think they'll be coming at the second and latter half of the year after the summer. But nonetheless, shout out to our man, David K. Diamond Fingers. Good for you. But I think $7 to $8 is actually conservative if we get these 17, 18 XRP ETFs launched. To me, that is going to be big. I think it's very achievable. I mean, I've always been more in the camp of $8 to $10 range. So 7 to 8, absolutely. I would take that in a heartbeat. With that said, Abs, I am going to close out the raffle, and then I'm going to have to start working again the name. So you're going to need to take up some airtime and give me a few minutes to do this, because it's going to take a little longer with all these names or all these donations. I'm going to have to figure that out. So With that said, guys, I am going to go and, well, Abs, yeah, there you go. Minimize.
I'll just cover for you guys.
There you go.
You didn't know. I've been talking on camera for about 3.5 years, so I can kill about 2.5 minutes, no problem. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to JB, who commented $20 donation. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you to JB as well for giving back. We very much appreciate you, my friend. And we'll get your name submitted for the raffle. Anybody who donates, you're going to have your name submitted twice as Johnny collects this data. Here's the reality, Johnny, and you don't have to answer. I'm just going to talk to you here. Whether it's Blockchain Backer, whether it's Waters Above, whether it's Paul Barron, all of the biggest analysts in the space are predicting that XRP is really, it's either going to hit double digits or come extremely close at a minimum. So I think people have to ask themselves, are you going to be taking profit at these ranges, or are you going to be watching the XRP price chart kind of turn over into a bear market? And nobody has a crystal ball. So I think the smart thing to do is set objective price targets that you can look at and say, I'm going to take 1% off the table at $10. And you know what? There's no harm in that, because if we get some sort of a correction, you can use that same capital to buy more XRP at lower prices. And if the XRP price continues to rise, great. You still have 99% of your XRP that is accumulating value. So I'm just trying to promote some lessons that I've learned being in this space for the better half of a decade. I'm actually coming up on 7 years. I'll be in crypto for 7 years pretty soon. That is, if I'm doing some math, that's 30% of my life, right? So that's pretty. Actually, that I don't think that math is correct at all, actually. It's more like 25%. 25% of my life. 25% of my life has been spent in the crypto market, and that number is only going to continue to rise because I'm probably going to be here for the next 80 years. God willing, my friends, in the name of Jesus. Now, getting into some content that I wanted to provide for you all today, we also saw this major update that the largest federal housing organization inside the United States has ordered Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare their businesses to recognize crypto as an asset for mortgage considerations. We are going to be able to borrow. We are going to be able to earn a yield. All of this is just getting started. So I'm going to play this 1-minute video, guys, and then we're going to raffle off the hat. So be sure to stick around. We got 7,400 live listeners here. If you're enjoying this content, show us some love. Smash that like button. I want to make something very clear. We appreciate each and every single one of you, regardless of who gets the hat tonight. We're going to keep providing opportunities for you guys to win some exciting stuff on this show for free, right? You don't have to donate. The donations are totally up to you. All you have to do is put your name in here. You're going to have a chance for free. Now, Charles, he commented, Abs, remember the Matty G show? That is the listener that I was actually thinking about when I was listing people I used to watch. Shout out to Matty G. Only the original XRP investors will know what I'm saying there. But let's talk about this. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, now using crypto to write mortgages. Here it is.
He is the conservator of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. He just posted on X, after significant studying and in keeping with President Trump's vision to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, today I ordered the great Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare their businesses to count cryptocurrency as an asset for a mortgage. Interesting, in the note, he then has a release from the FHFA, whereas cryptocurrency is an emerging asset class that may offer an opportunity to build wealth outside of the stock market and bond markets. Cryptocurrency has not typically been considered in the mortgage risk assessment process for the mortgage from mortgage loans delivered to the enterprises without converting that cryptocurrency into dollars. So he is now, this is not happening immediately, but he is directing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare proposals for consideration of crypto as an asset for reserves in their respective single-family mortgage loan risk assessments. So that means that your crypto can back your mortgages. Now, this is an interesting play because there is actually a startup company called Milo, which already does this, and it's been slowly moving into the mortgage market in that way. Some people buy and sell in crypto on their own, but for Fannie and Freddie to use crypto as a backstop for their mortgages, that's going to be interesting going forward, as we know how volatile crypto can be.
No doubt, big debate.
Well, you know what's interesting, Johnny, and I said this earlier, was that back in the day, I was calculating my net worth, and they would not allow for me to include my crypto holdings in my total net worth. And I go, listen, 70% of my wealth is in crypto, probably more than that. If I can't include this in my net worth, I'm going to look like I can't afford what I'm trying to purchase over here. And they told me I could not. Now, I still got the purchase done somehow, some way. It was a miracle. But the reality is this: crypto is going mainstream. And this company is doing this before the market is regulated. So it's such a strong indicator that these markets are about to be adopted by the largest capital players in America. Atlantic Living commented, Abs, please have Yusko and Claver to have a debate forum. First of all, I would love this, Atlantic Living. Mark can help Jake with Bitcoin. Jake can help educate Mark with XRP. That will be an amazing episode, but would Yusko be open to this? That is my exact response. I don't know if Mark Yusko would be open to it. Now, Mark Yusko did agree to a collaboration with Gary Cardone, but that was a pro-Bitcoin conversation. I'm not entirely sure if these Bitcoin investors would be willing to debate XRP because it's like a losing battle. It's like that Zach Rector arm wrestling match. And I'm just kidding, guys. I'm obviously making jokes, Johnny, but it's a losing battle for this very reason. If you start talking about technology, Bitcoin loses to XRP. If you start talking about how it's the only finite asset, well, XRP is also a finite asset. If you start talking about tokenization of real world assets, you can't tokenize real world assets on Bitcoin. You have to use a layer 2. You can tokenize assets natively on the XRP ledger. And maybe the strongest narrative for this month in June was stablecoins. And what do we have right now? Stablecoins expanding all over the XRP ledger, whether it's RLUSD or the USDC token. So I don't think that a lot of Bitcoin investors would be willing to debate in that manner, but I would be more than open to doing it. And I can reach out to Yusko and see what he has to say. Now, Matt Hogan can explain to us his conviction for the end of the traditional bear market. Matt is bullish on 2026 and 27. That could fit perfectly into the timeline that we've been anticipating. Shout out to Dusty. Dusty, I got to meet this guy in Florida. Great guy. He said, Abs, I'm in bed listening to the show. When do you ever sleep? Now, that's a good question. I typically sleep from about 12 p.m. to 7:30 in the morning. So I'm going to turn off this stream, get these lights off my face, and head to bed most likely. Now, shoot, I lost my train of thought, Johnny. I apologize. Are we close to getting the names?
We're close. We're close. I need another minute. Keep talking.
How many submissions are we? Just out of curiosity, how many names?
Well, we have total. We had 70, around 70-ish, and then we had another 20 or 24 because of donations. So we are up to 94 entries.
Wow, 94 entries, guys. Big thank you to everybody who watches this program. Big shout out to Dusty as well. Now, Mickey laughed. Keep talking with the laughing emojis. That I can do, guys. And the truth is, the whole reason that I'm even talking in this manner is because I'm putting my money where my mouth is, Johnny. I'm buying these dips. And I said this to you, or maybe I didn't say that. Maybe you said it to me yesterday, was that you're buying some XRP at these prices. Yep. And for myself as well, guys, this is the most excited I've been about crypto in the last 6 months. I think we're on the precipice of something huge with this market structure bill. I'm buying HBAR, I'm buying Ondo, and I'm buying XRP. Now, I'm not backing up the BRICS truck, but I'm looking at these assets and I go, HBAR is undervalued. Chainlink, undervalued. And so here we got it. We are going to begin raffling off this hat. And I think a lot of people don't know. If you don't know, we are giving away a signed Merlin hat tonight by Coach JV, Johnny Krypto, and myself for free to one of our Good Evening Crypto listeners. And you know how this is done here. For anybody who watches this program on a regular basis, this is what we do. We put your names in here. Anybody who donated, they get their name in twice, and we spin it live on air and announce a winner, calling their cell phone once we do so, once we pick a winner here, guys. So big shout out to you. I got to say best of luck to every single person who wants this hat. I said it before. I'll say it again. I know this is going to get in the right hands for the right person. So shout out to whoever wins this award. I also thought this was a great comment. Mojo said, I hope we go 5 rounds like the last raffle. So guys, go ahead.
This is going to be interesting because if we don't have a phone number for them, I don't know how we're going to, people who made donations didn't put a phone number in. So I'm not sure how we're, and I guess what we'll do is we'll have you DM us, and you could DM me and Twitter, and then DM me your phone number, and we'll call you on the air. So the rule is we got to get you on the air. That's how it works to validate you're here and listening live, and you get to win it. So I think that's the workaround we're going to have to do here, Abs.
Absolutely, guys. So like you said, this is going to be awesome. We're going to give away this hat tonight. I could not thank anybody else. I couldn't think about but doing any other giveaway that would be more exciting, guys, because we gave away the XRP Las Vegas tickets. We're going to continue to give away Merlin merchandise. Now, Johnny, here's something else I saw in the merch store. I think we got to give away a coffee cup. We got to go. When I'm at your lake house in July, we'll have me, you, JV, everybody sign some coffee cups. We'll start raffling those off here on Good Evening Crypto as well. Now, do you want me to keep stalling for you? We're ready to spin this wheel. Totally up to you. Just let me know.
Give me 1 more minute and we'll be good to go.
Perfect, guys. So we're going to start rocking and rolling. Just a quick reminder, 7,800 people here. We're giving away this Merlin hat. If you're enjoying this content, you enjoy the energy, you enjoy this channel, show us some love. Smash that like button. This person said GEC/GMC from the Philippines. Fly me down. We'll make it happen, my friends. Now, Johnny Krypto, let's spin this wheel and let's give one of our lucky listeners a Merlin hat. Here it is, guys. We're going to start spinning it. Johnny Krypto, floor is yours.
Here it is, guys. This is the prize up for raffle tonight. Personally signed by Coach JV, myself, and Abs, your host. And we will fire this bad boy up. With that said, I am going to stop talking and spin this bad boy. Abs, let me know if you can hear the sounds.
Here we go. Yes, we.
Nice. All right. Here we go. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Let's see who wins.
One lucky winner. Somebody sitting out there seconds away from winning this hat. Now, it's pretty cool. Now, I hope the person who gets this hat does something cool with it, whether they wear it, whether they put it in their office, whatever they decide to do. As you can tell, we are moments away here, Johnny Krypto. So close.
Hey, went from Oscar. Brian Benedict. All right, Brian, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to go find Brian. Let me unshare my screen. No number, no hat. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much.
Shout out to Brian. Now, it can be difficult for me to pronounce last names, but here's something everybody should realize. Bailey commented, you mispronounced Bailey. Here's what everybody should realize as well is that oh my gosh. Sorry, Johnny Krypto does have COVID. I'm not even making jokes. My man, thoughts and prayers for Johnny COVID over there. And that's COVID with a K, my friends, not COVID with a C. Now, here's the reality. When we're looking at the spinning wheel and we pick a winner here, Johnny, last time we had to pick 4 different winners. So, Brian, please comment in the chat. And if we have his contact information, we're going to call this person. If they do not answer, we spin the wheel again, and we're going to raffle it off to somebody else who's listening live on air today. But hopefully Brian answers the phone. Shout out Ab/Johnny. Why do you always put my text up there? I have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. So shout out to you. Should have got the jab. Oh, Johnny Krypto should have got. Well, if you didn't know, Johnny Krypto, this episode is sponsored by. I'm just kidding. I was going to make a joke, but it's not even funny to joke around.
Merlin.
Yes.
Smartest
Yes,
way to
it's
sponsor crypto.
Guys, we are sponsored by Pfizer, but absolutely not. And that will never be the case. If you come on here and we are promoting that, we've been compromised, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You know we're compromised if you hear us talking about that. All right, I'm going to try giving our man Brian a call, and let's see what happens.
Here we go. We're giving Brian a call. Brian, hopefully he answers. Fingers crossed.
All right, so Brian, if you were out there, oh crap, just lost the
You
number.
calling, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I just lost the app. Lost the number. Give me 1 second here.
I mean, what's interesting, guys, is that Brian hasn't commented in chat, so maybe he forgot to show up to the live stream. That's part of the deal. You have to be in the live. You have to answer the phone call, and then we'll send you anything that we win live on air. This person said, Ian said, give him some time. He's not even in the chat. So there's some split decisions, guys. Here's what I love to do. This is a democracy, right? This is America, my friends. If Brian doesn't answer, I'd love to hear. 1s, if you'd like for us to spin it again. 2s, if you think Brian should win it. Now, for me personally, I think the rules are the rules, and you got to answer the phone call or you got to at least be in the live chat. Now, let's see if Brian answers, and then we'll figure out what happens here.
Nova Krypto here.
Oh, Nova Krypto is Brian Benedict. All right, attaboy.
Let's go. There we go, guys. Shout out to
me up. Don't be looking me up.
So we did just kind of expose Nova Krypto here. We gave out his real name, guys. So.
We've got the
I
best.
gotta wake up my whole family at 12:30 in the morning here.
Don't wake them up. Don't do that. Don't do my heart. Yeah. But my friend, you are the lucky winner. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And as soon as we hang up, you can just text your address to this phone number here, and I'll get that mailed out to you.
100%, guys. I love you all. Best of luck to you all. We're all winners. We got this. Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nova Krypto, Brian. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll see you in the next one.
I got to give a massive shout out to Nova, guys, because this is somebody I see in the live chat every single day. And it's just like I said, we asked for this to get in the hands of the right person. It clearly did. He also gave a $20 donation. So big thank you to Nova. Now, I guess that goes to show, if you throw your name in the donation pool, you got a better chance of winning because this person donated and they won. So I need to give a massive thank you to Nova Krypto. He's one of those people who's there every single day. I see this person for years in our chat. So I couldn't be happier that it's going to somebody like Nova Krypto. Maybe I shouldn't expose his name live on screen. But Johnny, we'll kind of handle the contact information after. Let's wrap up the show, and then you can kind of contact Brian and really get connected here. We do have 8,000 people. We're 15 minutes into overtime. if you guys had some fun and you enjoyed tonight, show us some love. Smash that like button. I couldn't be happier. I got to say it again. Look at all the congratulations to Nova in the chat. Nova, you deserve it. If somebody deserves it, it is Nova Krypto, as well as there's other people who are worthy, but I couldn't be happier that it got into the hands of him. So that's going to be really awesome. And it sounded like he's excited about it. So that means the little Merlin hat in his office going forward. Who knows what he has planned, Johnny? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, absolutely. No, he was totally excited about it, Abs. You could hear that in his voice. He was live in the show. He was here. I love the fact that we get to give back and give it to, you know, what's great about our community? It's so cool. Like, I know there's a lot of people there that maybe wanted to win it and didn't, but yet they're still grateful and happy for him. And you don't really see that a lot. And that is awesome to see people being, excited for other people. So he is here all the time. Nova's definitely been here. In fact, Abs, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe no, wasn't he the guy that gave you the pen that signed the hat? Was it
No.
Nova? Oh, it was somebody else. Okay, I thought it was Nova Krypto. So anyway, this is awesome. Congratulations to you, Nova, and to everybody in the chat for for making a wonderful chat. We absolutely have the best community in crypto. In fact, we just learned that the Good Morning Crypto chat created their own Discord because they loved each other so much and they loved hanging out and they missed each other when the show was over. Because, Abs only does it, an hour to 2 hours a day. Apparently, that's not enough time. They want to be together even more than that. I just love that. It meant so much to me. When I heard you guys created a Good Morning Crypto Discord, that just tells me, Abs, the community we've built here and the XR community, they are special. XRP, I don't want to be biased because I'm an XRP holder too, but I just feel like they're special. They're great people. We've been to other shows, Abs, right? Not to throw other communities under the bus. I'm trying to be correct here. But we didn't see the same kind of love within those communities that we see in the XRP community. And I'll just leave it at that. And I'm just so proud of this community. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And can't wait till Abs, wait till when we wrap. Guys, you need to, everybody watching tonight needs to go. Abs, pull up the channel. You need to go to the Good Evening Crypto channel, Abs' channel, and you need to smash not the like button, not the donate button, do those too, but you have to smash the subscribe button. Whoops, that's mine. Right there. The subscribe button and notification. You need to smash that for Abs and help him get to 10,000. He's at 4.9. Okay, when he gets to 10, here's the good news. See that hat he's got over to the left or his right? He's got it hidden over there somewhere. He's got a little hat, and there's a little red say there. He's going to go get it. He's got a little red signature. That hat was signed by somebody very special in the XRP community. And there it is himself. That is your man, David Schwartz, who signed that hat for Abs with a special pen and marker, which then people wanted to buy the marker that
You know what's funny, Johnny? I've been saying this is the most expensive piece of gear in the history of Merlin because we know that the pen that was used to sign this hat went for $100. We're probably looking at a $300-$400 hat, and I wouldn't be disappointed at all if somebody got this hat and sold it and bought some XRP with it. So, but I'm obviously kidding, of course. But the reality is that I'm so excited to be giving this away, and I've been saying this. This has been sitting in my office. I have it over on the other side of the room while I'm kind of doing the show or whatever. But the memory of kind of walking up to David, we had a really brief talk. Here's what was cool as well. David Schwartz acknowledged that he remembered me. He asked me how I was doing, and for the first time, this is a big deal for anybody who's met David. He looked me in the eye. So it was pretty interesting. We had a good chat. He signed the hat. That was pretty cool. And then I turn around. The guy buys the pen that David used to sign the hat for. He gives me a crisp $100 bill. So now Boca G, shout out to Boca G. He said, I wouldn't sell that hat. Neither would I. I'm not selling this hat. This thing, I would only give it away for free to somebody in our community. I would not sell this hat, and I'm not going to, right? So I couldn't be more excited. And the deal is, when I reach 10,000 followers, I'm giving this hat away on a live stream on this channel. So I couldn't be more excited about that. Somebody said, don't give that hat away, Abs. Now, here's the brilliance, guys. And Johnny, you're on screen alone for 1 second. I just want to give you a heads up.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, no doubt about it.
Is that I got this other one, right? And this is the other. So we got the one David Schwartz hat here. We got the other David Schwartz hat here. So I am going to be keeping one of these. One signature is on the top. The other signature is on the lid. I'm going to raffle off one. I'm going to keep one. Maybe a year from now, maybe if we hit like 25 or 50,000 subscribers, I'll give away the other one. But hopefully I'll have more signatures from David Schwartz by then. That's kind of my 2 cents on that topic, Johnny.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. You have incentive. Go smash that subscribe button. Pump the channel up. Get it up to 10,000 subscribers, and you, one lucky winner, will get to win. Somebody in this chat right here, one of you, could be walking around with a David Schwartz signed hat. How cool would that be? There's only 2 of its kind, and only one that's going to be in circulation because Abs will most likely change his mind and keep the other one. So you're probably going to want to make sure that not only do you help smash and get it up to 10K, the greatest channel out there, Good Evening Crypto, where Abs is always putting content out every single day at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then we also try to get you a 5-minute snippet of ourselves, our own opinions of a dual show together. And then, of course, we have these lives we do. So we're trying to give you tons of content to help give you, again, if you're looking for, we want to be your one-stop shop for all your crypto needs. And that's what we're trying to do here in terms of helping to help everybody get started, whether you're a newbie just getting started or you're an expert. We're here to help you no matter how you look at it.
Well, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. It is 11:35 p.m. East Coast time. I got to get some rest because I'm going to be live on air in less than 12 hours. So we appreciate you guys. I do just want to give a special thank you to every single person who donated. Tonight, we got a ton of donations, and I did read through the names. I would love to read through them again, but I just want to give a huge thank you broadly overall. Anybody who tunes in, 8,400 people. If you enjoy this content, like Johnny said, head on over to the Good Evening Crypto channel on YouTube. You get an update from me 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We also like to host these live streams once a week at a minimum. So going to be awesome, man. And I can't thank Johnny Krypto enough for kind of helping me out. Everything that he's done behind the scenes and both helping me on camera, because it wouldn't be fun doing this thing alone, right? Got to bring your friends with you. That's why I got Johnny Krypto with me right here, helping me build my brand new channel. So thank you so much, Johnny. I love and appreciate you. And I love and appreciate all you guys. Spread the love. We're all going to be wealthy. We just got to be patient. And at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay, my friends. We love you, and we'll see you all in the next one.